Let me tell you something unusual about solitude. We live in a world that celebrates connection. Every thought, every experience, every feeling seems designed to be shared. Notifications, posts, stories, likes, comments all constantly pulling us outward. And yet some people don't just resist the pull. They choose to retreat. Not because they are lonely. Not because they are disconnected. They enjoy being alone. Maybe you know someone like that. Maybe you are someone like that. And here's the question that often confuses others. Why? Why would someone choose solitude when society constantly tells them to seek company? It's easy to assume that people who enjoy being alone are antisocial, shy, or depressed. But that's not the full picture. Beneath the surface lies an intricate psychology, one that reveals depth, resilience, and a quiet mastery of self. See, for many, solitude isn't emptiness. It's clear. It's control. It's the power to live life on one's own terms. Psychologists call this solitude orientation the deliberate preference for being alone because it nurtures focus, reflection, and authenticity. People who enjoy being alone often experience a stronger connection to their inner world than most. They observe, analyze, and reflect in ways that social engagement often interrupts. In a world that equates busyness with value, solitude feels radical. While others measure their lives in messages, meetings, and social applause, those who cherish alone time measure theirs in thought, presence, and meaning. It's not that they dislike people. They simply find themselves more fully in their own company. Research shows that individuals who actively seek solitude often score higher in traits like self-awareness, introspection, emotional regulation, and creativity. They don't need constant validation. Their self-worth is internally sourced. Contrast this with our hyperconnected culture, where attention is treated as currency. Most people live in a state of external affirmation, posting, sharing, performing, reacting. For someone who enjoys being alone, these systems can feel exhausting, even shallow. It's important to note, solitude is not always peaceful. Sometimes it's a refuge after being overwhelmed. Sometimes it's a conscious reset. Sometimes it's a space to confront emotions that social distractions have buried. But here's the fascinating part. Those who enjoy being alone often experience more stable moods than those who rely heavily on social interaction for emotional validation. Their brains have learned to self-soothe, self-reflect, and self-nurture. And yet society misunderstands them. They are often labeled as loners, introverts, or even antisocial. But their silence is not emptiness. It's depth. It's intentionality. It's a conscious engagement with their own mind. They are observing the world without the compulsion to comment. They are processing experiences without needing to broadcast them. They are living, not performing. One of the most overlooked psychological insights about people who enjoy being alone is their relationship with attention. Unlike those who crave external engagement, they selectively allocate their mental and emotional energy. Every conversation, every interaction, every social obligation is evaluated. Does this contribute to my growth? Does this align with my priorities? Does this enrich or drain me? This level of internal calibration is rare. It creates a form of mental freedom, a detachment from unnecessary social pressures and performance. Another surprising truth: solitude nurtures creativity and problem solving. Studies in cognitive psychology show that uninterrupted alone time strengthens the brain's default mode network, the system responsible for deep thinking, imagination, and self-reflection. People who enjoy being alone often approach challenges with higher clarity, innovative thinking, and emotional balance. So when someone steps away from social chaos, it's not laziness or avoidance. It's strategic. It's restoration. But there's more. Enjoying solitude often correlates with a heightened sense of authenticity. Without the pressure to conform to social expectations, they make choices aligned with their values, not external validation. They live deliberately. Consider how rare that is. Most of us unconsciously curate our lives to fit the gaze of others. We craft our identities, our achievements, even our emotions for approval. Those who enjoy being alone reject this cycle. They prioritize truth over performance. And it's not about fear, not about avoiding others. Some of the most socially capable people actually prefer solitude because it recharges them. It's their power source. Extroversion and introversion are often misunderstood. Being alone doesn't equal being shy. Being alone doesn't equal loneliness. It can equal self-possession, insight, and joy. 0545. There's a psychological term called internal locus of control. People who enjoy solitude frequently exhibit it. They understand that their sense of meaning, fulfillment, and well-being comes from within. Not from likes, not from comments, not from social applause. And in a world that constantly measures worth externally, this is nothing short of revolutionary. Yet solitude has emotional paradoxes. Some people fear judgment when they retreat. They worry that others will misinterpret their alone time as rejection or coldness. But in reality, their absence is rarely about disdain. It's about presence, the presence of self. It's a conscious choice to experience life fully before sharing it. People who enjoy being alone often have richer inner lives. They carry worlds inside themselves. They process, rehearse, imagine, and create silently. And paradoxically, when they choose to engage socially, they often bring depth, insight, and presence that others can't replicate. This is why many innovators, artists, and philosophers are drawn to solitude. It's where thought is unhindered, vision is unhindered, and growth is unhindered. And here's the secret many don't understand. Solitude teaches patience. It teaches self-reflection. It teaches that your thoughts, feelings, and experiences are enough, even without an audience. We live in a culture of noise, constant feedback loops, endless comparison. Those who enjoy being alone step off the treadmill. They reclaim time, attention, and energy. They rediscover the luxury of living without performative pressure. Of course, solitude is not a cure-all. Too much isolation can breed anxiety, overthinking, and even depression. Balance is crucial. But deliberate solitude, the kind chosen consciously, is psychologically restorative. It nurtures self-knowledge and resilience. Consider this: when was the last time you did something entirely for yourself? Without sharing it, posting it, or seeking approval? When did you truly listen to your thoughts without interruption? For people who enjoy being alone, that's not rare. It's their default. And that default creates a form of mental clarity most of us rarely experience. There's also an ethical dimension. Solitude allows for reflection before reaction. Without constant external input, these individuals often make more deliberate, less reactive decisions. They think before they act. They process before they judge. And that often makes them wiser, calmer, and more emotionally grounded. Interestingly, people who enjoy solitude often have strong social empathy. It's counterintuitive but true. Because they spend so much time observing and reflecting, they notice subtleties others miss. They understand human behavior without needing to perform alongside it. They engage meaningfully when they choose to, and that engagement often leaves a lasting impact. So next time you meet someone who enjoys being alone, don't assume they are disconnected. Don't assume they are sad or antisocial. Understand this: their solitude is a deliberate strategy. It's a cultivated practice of self-preservation, creativity, and insight. They aren't escaping the world. They are preparing to engage with it more fully, more intentionally. There's a poetic irony here. The quieter someone is, the louder their inner world. The less they broadcast, the more they observe. The less they perform, the more they understand. In solitude, meaning is deepened. In stillness, clarity emerges. In absence, presence becomes tangible. And maybe that's the ultimate lesson of those who enjoy being alone. They remind us that life doesn't require constant validation. They show us that the richest experiences are not always shared. They teach that your value isn't defined by others' attention. They live proof that introspection, self-possession, and quiet reflection can create a life of depth, richness, and meaning. Because in the end, solitude is not weakness. It is not emptiness. It is a mirror reflecting strength, authenticity, and freedom. Those who enjoy being alone carry a rare psychological gift. They know that being with yourself is the first step to truly being with the world. And perhaps, just perhaps, in a world that prizes noise, distraction, and display, they hold the deepest wisdom of all. So the next time you feel the urge to fill every silence, to seek every connection, to broadcast every moment, remember this. Not every thought needs an audience. Not every feeling needs a friend. Not every moment needs to be shared. Sometimes the most profound growth, creativity, and self-discovery happens quietly, inside, alone, undisturbed. And those who choose solitude don't just enjoy being alone. They are quietly, intentionally, and profoundly alive.